All right, recording is live now, so we're gonna get started. Hey guys, I'm Taj Thomas. You guys might know me as DMX Crypto Knight on Telegram, Crypto Jedi. Here today with the developer of the Knightlands, a game that is in the test beta right now, and I've been testing this beta. It's been a whole lot of fun. You guys can see it in the background over here. Been testing it out for probably a good 2 to 3 weeks. Would you say that's about the right time frame the test beta's been going on? About a month, maybe at the most.
Yeah, well, we started about 3 weeks ago,
Okay,
if I
awesome.
check correctly.
Well, it's been a lot of fun. Well, I will let you introduce yourself if you would like, so everyone knows who I'm talking to.
Yeah, so my name is Dennis, and I'm the main developer behind the Knightlands.
You're the magic man, making these fun
Yeah,
games for
so
us to be able to play.
I'm working pretty much on everything except art.
Okay.
So the art is something that I don't do by myself.
The art is pretty beautiful, man. I like all the monsters. It reminds me of some of the other games that I've played before. More particularly, like more the games of monsters and like Pokemon, more specifically. But
Yeah, the when I was searching for an art, I found this particular one is quite nice. It's a royalty free from really nice artist.
hmm.
Uh, he's doing like anime kind of style monsters, so that's pretty cool.
Okay, so did you say it's kind of a open source thing, or was it a specific artist that did all these?
Yeah, it's a specific artist
Okay.
who was done the monsters, and we have quite large amount of those, about 900.
Hmm.
So we
That
have
is a lot of monsters
more
to fight.
than, yes. So I think we have enough to future expansion.
Expansion. That is what we like to hear. We like to hear, about sustainability in a lot of these games, especially blockchain games, because it just means that there'll be more games to play, and the people coming in will
Yes,
be able to keep playing new content and stuff. So that's always awesome.
yeah. Myself, I'm working in game development about 10 years right now.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I thought I heard you say you developed. I think it's a game called Coin and Steel, which is over on the Ethereum
yes,
blockchain.
yes. Uh, there was it was much more a serious project, involved venture capital, but in the end we had quite some friction in the business part. So
Yeah,
I
that
had
happens.
to, yeah. So right now this project is on hold, and I'm not sure how long it's going to be in this state. So it's not really closed, but I'm working with Animoca Brands. This my main partner and investor,
Hmm.
and right now we're searching for different way how we could get back to developing that project. But meanwhile, I'm making Knightlands right now that is more focused on crypto players because the Coins and Steel was it was more designed to be a mainstream game, but I feel like we were a bit too early for this kind of games. So right now I'm just in retrospective I'm just trying to avoid uh, certain mistakes that was happened with Coin and Steel. So it's like less the scope of the game of Nightlands is shrinked
Mm-hmm.
and gameplay very simple. So
Mm-hmm.
you can just play like for a few minutes a day and just close the game and get back like
Yeah,
1 2 hours later.
that is a very
So
great
we're not,
great feature.
yeah, we're not really pushing to for you to play it like for hours. So the session have to be very short. Of course, I will add more activities, but they all will be still very short. So it's not going to be like a second work game.
Yeah, man. A lot of these games, you got to put a lot of time and hours and sweat into grinding out what you want. So it's great to find a
Yes.
game that you can just
Yeah.
play really quick in your little free time. Any breaks you have real quick, you can load it up and
Right.
take down a few monsters and then go on about your day.
Right.
So I heard you say that there were a lot. I heard you say a number about how many monsters there were in the game. I think you said over 900, right?
Yeah, in sprites, but monsters right now we're using mm, about 200 from that
Okay.
amount.
And how many items would you say are in the game? Maybe not so far, but maybe how many items do you envision to be in the game?
Right now, if we count like every item in the game, right now in my database is about 1100 items.
Ooh, it's a lot of items.
Yeah, it's I think I will add 200 or 300 more to the launch. So
Awesome.
about 13 to 1400 items.
Well, we love collecting items and getting loot, man. Opening those chests and all kind of stuff.
Right. So that's what I was working on for last 2 3 days. Is I was thinking about the balancing because right now in the beta, and if you open like a crafting tab, there are like a lot of stuff. And if I would keep adding stuff, it would be like so many. It will be like actually frustrating at some point. I feel it would be. So today I made a quite big change to how the items will be acquired in the game.
Hmm.
So basically, the main crafting line is your main weapon, and there will be other crafting stuff like maybe some legendary boots that have some specific kinds of properties, and it will require like different stages of crafting. So it's not just only luck, but also you can slowly move to your target. So usually when the game is just drop only, like let's say like Diablo 2, for
Mm-hmm.
example, right? And these kinds of games, you just rely on luck and you just play a numbers game over and over and
We
over.
call him in the gamer community. We call him RNG or RNGesus. You kind of gotta
Yes,
put your hands together and pray that you're gonna get
RNGs.
what you want.
Yes, yes. So in Knightlands, we will have mixed approach. So some items will have the random based chance for dropping, like that's why there are chests, and
Mm-hmm.
some it will be crafted. So you can just play a bit. Let's say you finish some raids and you get some materials, so you just a bit closer to the target. So it feels more rewarding at the same time
Mm-hmm.
because if you're not getting anything you want for long periods of time, it's just frustrating. And here is like you can grind for something, and also you're slowly moving to like other legendary item at the same time that can be used maybe in different situation, or if you're not going to get that item, you finally will craft another one, or you get that and you finish that craft and you just sell because items can be NFTs. Since it's all blockchain, you can just sell it.
Yeah, so I was wanting to see if you could explain just a short explanation of NFTs, maybe to someone who's kind of not familiar with exactly what they are. We have a
Yeah.
lot of people in our
So
community who are kind of new to blockchain, um,
all right.
but I find that it's really good to come from a gaming background and be able to explain NFTs to people because you can. I like to use gaming in my examples anyway, but I would love to hear an actual dev kind of explain it. Um,
Right. So the concept of NFTs, that stands for non-fungible token. So it's basically kind of asset, let's say, that is unique. So it's basically what it means that you, if you replace one asset with another one, it's not the same. Uh, let's say baseball cards, for example, right? So
Mm-hmm.
one card can be just a very old one,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe it's like very rare and more valuable than the recent one, but still like same card. That's for example. So they're physically different, they from different time and so on. So they are not really the same.
Yeah.
On the other hand, like fungible token, let's say it's just everyday money we use. So it's like $1, it's and another dollar, it's still the same value at the end. There, of course, can be some banknotes that are special print banknotes for some event, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it's also becoming like this NFT, but this banknote itself is this non-fungible thing that physically is unique and it
Mm-hmm.
has its own value. So it's kind of like interesting concept because it's at the same time everything in physical world is basically non-fungible, like if you think about it, because everything
Mm-hmm.
is unique
Yep.
physically. But in information world is, let's say, fungible is you can sum like 1 plus 1 and you can have like 2 at the end, but non-fungible you just can't sum them because they are not the same exactly, so they all unique. So it's you can't just stack them all together, for example. So they all everything is unique.
Yep.
So
That's.
every item you mint is just you can't stack it with the same other item or different item. It's just unique. That's it.
I mean, that was a great explanation. So it's to me, it's great to see non fungible tokens in blockchain games because I mean, that means that you own that item. You know, if you ever play a game like I think you said Diablo, for example, you get a sword. It's a legendary sword, um, but you can't take that sword out of the game and sell it. But with these type of tokens, if you get this legendary sword, that's your sword, and you can do what you want with it. You can play with it in the game, or you can sell it to your friend or somebody. It's pretty interesting what you can
Right,
do with them.
right. The main reason those tokens were created, they just mimicking this physical uniqueness of the virtual item. So if we take the same Diablo, you just kind of like drop like sword, right? But each sword a little bit different, and you can't like really just stack them together and have like two swords in one slot, right? It's like not like gold. Gold can be stacked forever. It just
Yeah.
stack because gold is all the same, but swords they're different. So this is the main difference, that you can just track like a trading history of each individual this NFT asset. Because if you trade like Bitcoin, Ethereum, or anything, you can't really track like single Satoshi, for example, because it's the stacking and that's it. It's just this part of information is missed forever. But for
Mm-hmm.
NFT, it's like you can track each single object or asset separately. This is the main like the strengths. It has like its drawbacks, but you just need to use what is more appropriate in
Mm-hmm.
a different situation. So
Oh.
if let's say we have if if you want to trade like gold from Diablo, you would use fungible token because it's better usage for that. You don't want to create billions of unique gold coins because there is no point basically from practical usage.
I would love to see Diablo come out with some NFTs, man. I would definitely go and collect some. um,
That's
so I was
what we were trying
wondering,
to do in Finland still.
what'd you say?
That was implemented in Coins of Steel. We had randomized drops, so it's like job fields, but everything was NFTs at the same time.
Yeah, man, I've been really interested in a lot of these games with NFT, so I've been trying to follow them around and see what I can learn about them. So I was wondering if you could share some of the partners that you have with Knightlands. I was looking at your guys' site, and you have some partners on the Imperial Bazaar site, which is
Yeah.
a great place to go to find any information about the game. But I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about your partners a little bit with us.
Yeah, so the main partners for us right now is Tron Tier Explorer
Yeah.
and Love Hearts. They're basically the same at the end. They share in the roots. Or what we are going to have uh, Heart Pack from Love Hearts, and it will be usable in the game. And also, the Love Hearts token will be usable. Uh, Players will able to purchase some exclusive consumable items used on Love Hearts token. And the second, the other two like e-gamers and crypto gaming pool, basically we're sharing like they creating like overview review of Knightlands for us and
Mm-hmm.
helping with promotion. And it's basically same with Depthradar, Depcom. It's all just for visibility and for future collaboration. So not that much special right now. Yeah, the biggest is Love Hearts, and we are looking to integrate probably other tokens, but right now I'm a bit busy with pushing the game to launch, like at least to the state where I can switch back to marketing a bit more.
Yeah, man. Well, Love Hearts is they're a pretty good partner, man. I've seen them around. I know they give really good support to the projects that they help. So, and congratulations on that partnership. And eGamers is also someone who I've been talking with one of their I think he's one of their writers, and they have a pretty good platform as well for any blockchain project that you want to promote. They have a site where they host articles, and it's a pretty good
Yeah,
resource,
I
man.
like I like the way they write articles. So it's pretty cool to have a collab with them so we can grow together.
That would be fantastic, man. Yeah, I'm looking to see if we can work something out with them as well, uh, so we can offer some of their services to our community. So that would be a great thing. Let's see what's next on my man. I'm sorry I sent you such a huge list of questions. Now I'm like, what question do I ask? um, so do you have a time frame for when the beta will become open for anyone who wants to come and check it out?
Let's see. Just from judging how I'm moving right now, I
Mm-hmm.
expect to open the beta for everyone in about 3 to 4 weeks. Maybe earlier, but I would prefer to have some safer assumption right now.
Yeah, one thing I will say is that you do a pretty good job of making sure that you're ready to release when you are, which is something that I find important. Is that you really have to make sure that the developer is ready to release this stuff, because if he's not, then you never know what you could run into with some of these betas, and first impressions are everything. So I really appreciate that you take your
Yeah,
time doing stuff and you don't let people rush you, man. That's really important.
yeah, this exactly like I don't want people to have premature impressions about the game because like right now the close beta and I have more than enough people to understand like how the game plays to eliminate the most uh, the easiest to catch bugs and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean this week all this new crafting and hundreds of new items will drop into the beta, and after that I will still refine some of the crafting stuff, and then I will add some new features like this tower stuff and pets finally. So one of the interesting features will be pets, where you will have to find out which kind of food your pet prefer and which kind of food you want to avoid. So you keep him fed, and he will fight for you in the best way possible.
I love pets and games, man. They're so much fun.
Yeah,
I
it's
could.
kind of like it's interesting. Like all the pets and Tamagotchi kind of games, they with all these collectibles they got back in this blockchain space. So I decided like why not to to not just have like another usable item, but also give some kind of bonding between players. So over time you build up your pet. So it's not just something you just you just use this pet like in many other games, and that's it. So
Hmm.
because because the gameplay is very simple, we I can just focus more on like like other kinds of game, like giving this sense of progression in a different way, not just pure gameplay wise.
I also heard you talking about in the. I was it's my bad. I was gonna switch topics a little bit here, unless you had some more
Yeah,
to add on pets. You're free to. I was
yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah.
okay. I was gonna ask. I seen you mention in the the closed beta chat. I heard you mention a little bit of PvP coming up a little bit. Did you want to
Right.
say anything about that?
Well, the PvP will be one of the biggest features, and it will be the focus of the game after the launch.
Awesome.
So
Everyone loves to be
yeah,
competitive. Everyone wants to go out and be the top dog. So.
right. So because if you release the PvP first, um, there are many problems with that. First of all, you still need some progression game, and with just PvP, it's going to be a bit different. So I know like some people they don't like beating up monsters and all of that, but that's usually the case with big games like World of Warcraft or something like that. So where the huge sessions, so people don't want to spend time killing mobs just because first of all it takes a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
So here it's not really the case. So I decided to go to PvE first, like player versus environment
Mm-hmm.
part, and that part will take so much time to close all the possible gaps. So that's enough. It's like I launched this part. Of course, we will polish it a little bit here and there, but in general, after that, I focus on PvP. So the PvP itself, it will not be just auto battle. Like a lot of blockchain games in the space, they just do auto because I don't know, for several reasons. Probably because it's the fastest way and cheapest way to do PvP.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's most suitable for smart contracts, but since the game itself is off-chain, we can go way like create way more complicated mechanics, like way more cool mechanics. Because right now, like in raid, you I will add more percents of other players, but in general, if you fight right now in the same raid, you see in real time like health is dropping and everything. Like something traditional blockchain game can't just do it because of the limitations of technology.
Mm-hmm.
So how PvP is planned to be, like in old browser-based PvP style game, kind of. So basically, it's like you have few seconds to decide, and you decide like which body part you can attack. It's will be like head, body, like legs, for example, right?
Mm-hmm.
And which body part you defend. And also you can decide like to drink potion or use the skill. And the potions and skills they will be they put into the slots, but the slots will be limited maybe to 3 4 slots maximum. So you have to think about what what do you take with you into the battle.
Awesome. So what I'm hearing is you're
And
bringing a lot of strategy into the PvP instead of just hack and slash. You'll
yes,
be aiming. That I mean
right.
that's a fantastic idea right there, man. I can't wait to try that out.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
gonna go for
So
the head though. I like all headshots. I'm just gonna aim right for the head and knock that helmet off.
somebody will somebody will decide to defend on the head then. Yeah, so right. So that was the idea that we're removing like total complete RNG from combat, and we're actually doing
Okay.
like real-time combat because you both sitting right now and deciding what to use, how to outplay your opponent right, right there in the moment. And then you basically you can even like win somebody that who is more powerful than you basically. That is more than possible.
Yeah.
So
All based on
it's
your
not going to
strategy.
be, yeah, it's of course maybe if you try to kill somebody like 60 levels higher than you in much way better gear, of course it's like suicide, but in general the gap between players will be smoothed way more than in just traditional auto combat systems.
Well,
And
that was.
the next and the next part it will be a guild. So we will bring this really tight social element into the game, and there will be like all sorts of stuff you can do together. It will be like mega craftings that
Mm-hmm.
bring resources into the guild, like leveling up guilds, and we will bring after it will be land system. So it will be like the world map, and you can fight for certain pieces of the land, and this land will give kind of resource, like for example, dividend token, mines, and
Okay.
all stuff like that. So it will be pretty. I'm pretty excited to move to PvP part, but right now I have to finish the core game, and
Yeah, one
when
step at a
people will
time,
start
man.
grinding to get the best gear possible for PvP and fight for dividends, I will bring so something like duels. Maybe it will take like couple weeks to bring to the game.
Awesome.
It will be pretty interesting to see how it evolves, the whole direction of the game.
Okay. So I'm not sure how long we've been going here, but I have just a couple more questions. One thing I was wondering if you wanted to take some time to explain was the Squire bot and the welcome packages, um, which is when you join into the Telegram channel, everyone welcomes you, and you guys explain that they can pick up a welcome package from the Squire bot. I was wondering if you could explain that a little bit. Still there? Oh, we got a technical difficulty happening right now. Just give us a second and we'll try to get him back on here in just a second, you guys. Oh, maybe it's me having issues. Let me see.